You're watching the CSGO Betting Edge, brought to you by plusEVsports. Visit our website at plusEVsports.com for write-ups and analysis, and join our Discord, plusEVsports.com/Discord, for all of our betting predictions. What's going on, guys? It's Andy with plusEVsports.com, and today I bring you the latest edition of the CSGO Betting Edge. We're going to dive into the 8 teams coming into ESL New York, let you guys know what our team thinks about these teams coming in Group A, Group B. We'll talk a little bit in detail about that, potential matchups, and of course, as we put our picks in, we're going to post them directly to Discord, so don't miss out. plusEVsports.com/Discord. You can find the invite link in there. You want to make sure that you're in there, you're watching our picks, you're watching them go in, because these esports lines can be very soft, and if you miss a pick by an hour or 2 hours, that could be the difference between making significant profit and maybe not making any kind of profit, losing those plus odds or that expected value. So come on in, come to the Discord, say what's up. We love chatting about betting, sports, discussion about anything like that. Just say hi. We're having fun. We're hanging out. We're making money. So without further ado, let's get into it. Today we're going to take a look at ESL One New York. The tournament features 8 teams split into 2 groups with best of 3 matches all the way through. Group A consists of Liquid, ENCE, G2, and E United. Before we look at the matches specifically, let's take a quick dive into each team and see what happened after the major. ENCE comes off a fresh roster change, replacing their in-game leader Alexi B with Sunny, who's been on Mouse in the past, but he's been benched for the last few months. This move is quite interesting, as ENCE has had huge success with Alexi B when he was their IGL. During his lead, the team reached the final at the major in the beginning of the year. They went deep in multiple premier tournaments and even reached the playoffs at the current major when it was known that he was going to get replaced. However, during that time, ENCE also had times where they did fall off. For example, bombing out at ESL One Cologne. Overall, this roster move is quite surprising to us, since replacing your IGL with a non-IGL always has risks, but time will show how this team's going to perform with Sunny. We did get a first glimpse at ENCE with Sunny at the Blast Pro Series in Moscow, where they beat NIP, drew to Navi and MIBR, and lost to Fours and Avangar. E United certainly are the biggest underdogs in this tournament. The team consists of mid-tier NA players Food, Mark E, Vanity, Freakazoid, and Cooper, who qualified for this tournament by beating INTS, Complexity, and Furia in the closed qualifier at the end of June. Recently, we saw them take a map off Liquid in Week 1 of the NA ECS season, but they also lost twice to Envy in the NA qualifier for DreamHack's Masters Malmo. Just this Monday, we saw them bench Moose to take a break from the team and replace him with Freakazoid, who is reuniting with his brother Cooper after their stint in Swole Patrol before he joined E United. This leaves them with a new player just a few days before a big LAN. It doesn't help that with Moose, the team is losing one of their top performers and leaves 3 teams in this group with a new addition to their rosters. Keeping this sudden change in mind, we do not expect a lot from them in this tournament. However, we still might take them on their map pick, as the market could overreact to this change and leave us with some juicy odds. Liquid come into ESL New York after a rather lackluster performance at the majors. They ended up losing in the quarterfinals to Astralis, who ended up winning the entire tournament. Not only did they lose the quarterfinals, but they also barely made it through the group stage. They ended up collecting losses to NRG and Avangar, but recovering and qualifying 3-2 later in the group stage. Although they were shaky at the major, they are still expected to put up numbers at ESL New York. Individually, they're the most talented team at this event. However, Astralis' deep map pool and better team play usually gets the better of them. If Liquid regains some of their form from earlier this year, an event win wouldn't be surprising. G2 come into this tournament with a fresh roster change, removing the French veteran Shocks in favor of the Problem, also known as Kiyoshima. They had an upward trajectory this year, slowly improving from event to event. However, they didn't qualify for the playoffs at the Major this year, losing to Renegades in the final game. This is probably caused to the roster change, as Shocks had a 0.98 HLTV rating in the group stage. The G2 lineup has some great talent, but they still lack a lot in the strategy and map pool department. This won't be fixed with such a fresh lineup change either, so we can expect them to play some sloppy CSGO. Perhaps favoring puggy maps and fast gameplay due to the lack of practice. They shouldn't be counted out. They can definitely cause some upsets. An event victory, however, seems rather impossible at the moment. Coming into this matchup, it's hard to know what to expect. Roster changes increase variation a lot. Although I have to favor NC in this match, I would avoid betting it unless odds reach a little bit greater than 1.8. This match seems pretty clear-cut, especially if it's a best of 3. However, after the player break, including the Major, Liquid did not look as dominant as they did when they had their winning streak and won every LAN they intended. This now has peaked in them losing a map to E United and getting 2-0'd by Sharks in the first week of the ECS season. It would be a bit rash to say that Liquid is in a slump, but they certainly have dropped off a bit. We think this LAN will probably determine their form going forward for the next few weeks. As I mentioned earlier, Liquid and E United just played a close match against each other online just a few days ago. Looking at current odds, we have Liquid at 1.15 and E United at 5.6. We currently don't see any value in this match, but as odds for the underdog usually get better as the match gets closer, we might consider a bet on E United on map pick if odds rise above 5. To be up to date and know what we're going to bet on this match, don't forget to join our Discord. Taking a look at the group as a whole, it seems pretty obvious that Liquid will top the group, given that NC and G2 just made roster changes. The second team to go through is a lot harder to predict, but we think it's going to be NC as they've been playing with Sunny for a bit longer. Given the circumstances in Group A, this might be U United's best chance to get map wins or even an upset against NC or G2. We will definitely be on the lookout for some good odds on them. Group B features the likes of Astralis, NRG, Optic, and FaZe. Astralis just won the Star Ladder Major in Berlin, looking to take back the throne as #1 team in the world. They convincingly grabbed their 4th major title by winning now 3 majors in a row and not dropping a single map in the playoffs. When they faced off with the current #1 team Liquid in the quarterfinals, they beat them 2-0, surprising many with their Vertigo pocket pick. In the semis, they faced off against a very strong-looking NRG, who stood no chance versus the well-oiled machine that Astralis is. In the final, they played versus Avangar, an upcoming CIS team that just recently won Blast Moscow. But they were clearly outmatched versus Astralis, losing 2-0 and only getting 11 rounds over 2 maps. Together with Liquid, Astralis will be one of the favorites to win this LAN. FaZe is going through roster changes at the moment, ending their time with Polish CS legend Neo and Guardian leaving to rejoin with his former team Navi after a disappointing result at the Major, where they dropped out of groups with a 1-3 score. They are currently trialing Brokey, an FPL talent, as their new main AWP. Their 5th player is still unknown. The future of the team is unknown as well, but it's public that the players want to sign coldzera. Unfortunately, his buyout seems too big for the organization. NRG impressed with standout performances at the Major, going 3-0 in groups by beating Renegades and Liquid in the best of 1 and Astralis in a best of 3, taking them down 2-0. In the playoffs, they continued their streak by beating Navi in the quarterfinals, but fell short after meeting a very strong-looking Astralis in the semifinals. Overall, NRG are on a good track with their roster, under their new IGL Stanislaw to cement themselves on top of Counter-Strike instead of just making it to the playoffs and then losing top 4 or 8, whatever. NRG will be a strong contender in any of the upcoming LANs if they can keep their form up that they showed at the major. Optic, a team that is filled with people that have been forgotten over the last few months by just being irrelevant to top tier CS and failing to achieve anything meaningful. Even in their online games, they look mediocre, making MSL's statement of being top 5 team in the end of 2019 look like a joke at this point. Not much else to say. Astralis comes into this matchup as clear undisputed favorites and should just wash the deck with Optic. Optic couldn't even be considered a tier 2 team at the moment. In any aspect, may it be strategy, firepower, map pool, or whatever you want to bring up, Astralis is just miles ahead. And the odds reflect that the major winners are heavy favorites by the bookmakers, and they should be. There's not much to say other than we advise to skip this game unless a miracle happens. Astralis should win this 2-0 any day of the week, and odds are just not going to be good enough to justify a bet. It's hard to tell who FaZe will bring to the LAN, but from leaked scrim information, it seems like they've been practicing mostly with coldzera and Brokey. The latter has been confirmed to be playing for FaZe at this LAN, but there's no information about coldzera at this point. They may come and bring YNK to play if they have no choice left. NRG, on the other hand, have impressed us at the major and are looking towards another playoff spot. Unless FaZe brings coldzera with them, we advise not to bet on FaZe, and we would even say it's not worth betting on NRG at 1.4 plus odds, given that they really haven't had much time practicing with any other person but coldzera. As a whole, it seems like Astralis and NRG are clear favorites to top the group. FaZe has potential if they bring coldzera, and as for Optic, it seems dire. They could take games versus FaZe if they have to play with their coach, YNK. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And most of all, join our Discord, plusEVsports.com/Discord. Our team is up over 350 units this year, off of over 3,000 picks. This is not by accident, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you in Discord. As always, best of luck and stay disciplined.